All right, I'm back on the truck project. I'm gonna start getting the motor ready to pull. I need to get all the wires and plumbing and everything off the firewall, and we'll get this drivetrain ready to be pulled out. Don't forget to inspect your junk. That, just happened to notice this, that is a loose torque converter bolt. So that one eventually came out. Be careful. All right, there's the shifter linkage disconnected. It's fascinating, all the mechanism that goes into shifter linkage. That actual U-shaped thing right there is the shifter on the transmission. It twists, twisted by this bar right here, connected to that bar, which goes way the hell up there, which is on a little arm coming down from the steering column, which is where your shifter is. Your shifter twists a ring on the steering column, which moves that bar up and down. Shifter cable is, shifter linkage is removed. Now we're moving on to the drive lines. There we go. This is coming out of the cap. Hold on. This is coming out of the cap. I want to try and keep the cap on here so we don't lose all the needles.
Right.
Not that we're going to reuse this drive line, but
just in case.
yeah.
I mean, we probably won't use it for this, but we might use it for something. Before we go any farther, let's just tape that up.
I got my hair earlier all in the caked on transmission fluid on the bottom of the transmission. So now I'm wearing my welding hat. You probably want to do the same.
Shampoo.
You'll end up with a bunch of shit in your hair. Yeah, this wants to come out of the yoke, so you'll have to pry on that with a screwdriver. Grab my screwdriver.
Need to get some of those skull caps like the mechanics used to wear in the old days. Good thing those are built tough.
Well, we'll find out how tough they're built. The real thing is, good thing they're built cheap.
Yeah.
That's probably what's more important.
So what we can use this drivetrain for is
What?
I said what we can use this drivetrain for, and I mean the whole thing. Transmission, transfer case, drive shaft, everything.
Right?
Is our homemade side-by-side.
Oh. Yeah, if we get a...
Maybe even the engine.
Well, it's going to be... Well, no, for engine, I was thinking...
You're not going to use this engine.
No, I was thinking we do something like a crotch rocket motor.
Oh, for like what the Peck Brothers built. But yeah, I meant just a drive around jalopy, four-wheel drive, real light duty, like a side-by-side, except homemade. you know?
I think that's a different size. Of course it's a different size. Why wouldn't it be a different size? Everything's a different size.
Of course.
I can get an extension in there. Okay, super extension. With wobbler, again, just like the other day. Can't do automotive anything without wobblers. Okay, turn. Stop. Is that all of them?
Should be.
There's 4, right? Probably have to hit that with a hammer.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Hold on, I still gotta get the other one out of the front one.
Yep. She is out.
Show the camera.
It's out. Like that's a big deal.
Right. So this is the super duper extension you need. Oh, that's loose already.
Well, somehow that's not a surprise.
Yeah. You might be able to, if you come over here, you can probably reach up there and finish it off. See where I'm aimed at? Reach over the frame, back here, and then over the frame.
I don't know if I'm got enough reach.
Three down. I think that's all of them.
I can definitely appreciate Rory's build philosophy of making everything the same size bolt. Because this stuff of everything being a different size bolt is a pain.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that, it'll come.
Transfer case and transmission out of there. Transmission jack did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well balanced we are, but this chain is tight, so it's holding it. Ended up making a whole bunch of mess on the floor just because that jack, see, we got this super nice, you know, drain pan for hoist drain pan, but the jack that's holding up the back of the engine is in the way. It was in the way for that.
Everything that was in the way. Everything was in the way.
So we'll probably strap the back of the engine, and then we got to lower the hoist down, obviously, to be able to get that out of there. So that's the next mission. We had a little accident. After I shut the camera off, we were getting the transmission and transfer case off the jack when it slipped from my grip and fell off the side of the transmission jack. Even in its lowest position, the jack is still 2 or 3 feet above the ground. We weighed this combination after, and the transmission transfer case combination is over 340 pounds. In hindsight, we should have just used the gantry or the cherry picker to help with this lift, but it was towards the end of the day. I just wanted to try and get it off the jack and on the ground. I'm not really that upset about it because this is only a turbo 350, so I wasn't planning on using it for this project, but Dad was a little more upset about it than I was because we had plans to use it in something else. I think in a future video I'll try to repair this with the TIG welder. The transmission case is cast aluminum, so it'll be a challenge for sure, and I don't know if the repair will take, but it'll be worth a shot. And we're back. It's the next day. Yesterday we got the transmission out. Man, that's so much easier with the lift. Already digging on having that. I think today's order of business is going to be getting it down off the lift and starting to pull the engine and maybe the cab. I don't think we'll get to the cab today, but we'll pull the engine anyway. So yeah, that didn't even take us yesterday the whole day. I didn't start working on the transmission stuff until kind of midday, and only took us like a couple hours, and we were screwing around with, you know, getting the kickdown cable disconnected. I forgot to disconnect that on the top end, so we ended up just cutting that because I was tired of messing with it. But having the lift just makes that 10 times easier. That would have been an extreme pain on the ground for the whole day. It would have taken the whole day. Especially getting the whole transmission and transfer case out of there. It's a lot harder to muscle that big thing around when it's both of them together. But it's just easier to get the whole thing out. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's easier to get the entire back of the drivetrain out versus taking each piece off, but it's harder to move around. So, all right, so we'll get going on that today. Everything on this thing is done incorrectly.
Correct. So
what's the header size?
The header, well, let's do the motor mounts because I took this header off first just for something to do, and now it's in the way of getting the motor mount bolt out. So let's do the motor mount bolts. Tease off.
Not a 10 on this side.
What?
No.
Oh, it's an 11. I'm sorry. My mistake.
You're keeping me guessing.
Yeah. I thought it was a 10. When I looked at it, it turned out to be 11. Yeah, I think you got to lose.
Finally. While the engine and front clip is off, I figured this would be a good opportunity to get some 3D scans of the frame and firewall. Once I get to the fabrication stages of this build, this will come in handy when making things like shock towers or especially engine mounts. I found out on the buggy project that it's pretty difficult to design engine mounts for a hanging 350-pound engine. The most important aspect of this scan is capturing the spatial relationship between the two frame rails. I'll combine this with either a 3D model of the engine if I can find one, or I can scan that as well in order to design the engine mounts all in CAD. I used this technique on the buggy for designing all the body panels and was happy with the accuracy you can get even with these non-metrology grade scanners. Thanks for coming along on this one with us. We got the engine and the entire drivetrain pulled out. I cannot stress enough how much help it is having a hoist for doing this kind of work. Next up, we'll be getting the cab and bed lifted off the frame. I don't know which one I want to do first. Once we get it stripped down to bare frame, I can start planning for axles and building it back up from there.